Hi, my name's Lloyd Powell. Today I'm going to be speaking about John F. Kennedy. He gave a speech at Rice University on September 12, 1962. The speech is called the Moon Speech. Here I go. We meet at college noted for knowledge, in a city noted for progress, in a state noted for strength, and we stand in need of all three. For we meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope, fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. Despite the striking fact that most scientists that the world has ever known are alive and working today, despite the fact that this nation own scientific manpower is doubling every 12 years in a rate of growth more than 3 times that of our population as a whole. Despite that, the vast stretches of the unknown and unanswered and unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension. No man can fully grasp how fast we have come, but condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man recorded history in a time span of but a half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, advanced man had learned to use skins of animals to cover them. Then, about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from the caves to construct other kinds of shelters. Only 5 years ago, man learned to ride and use a cart with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year, and then less than 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity last month. Electric lights, telephones, automobiles, airplanes became available. Only last week did we develop penicillin, television, and nuclear power. And now, if America's new spacecraft succeeds in reaching Venus, we will have literally reached the stars before midnight tonight. This is breathtaking pace. And such pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old, new ignorance, new problems, and new dangers. Surely the open vistas of space promise high cost and hardship as well as high reward. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little while, a little longer to rest and wait. But this city of Houston, the state of Texas, this country of the United States, was not built by those who waited and rested and wished to look behind. This country was conquered by those who moved forward, and so will space. William Bradford, speaking in 1630 of the founding of the Plymouth Bay County, said that all great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulties, and both must be enterprise overcome with answerable courage. Those who came before us made certain that this country rode the first wave of industrial revolution, the first wave of modern inventions, and the first wave of nuclear power. This generation does not intend to founder in the backwash of the coming age of space. We mean to be part of it. We mean to lead it. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon, and to the planets beyond. We have vowed that we shall not see it governed by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace. We have vowed that we shall not see space filled with weapons of mass destruction, but with instruments of knowledge and understanding. Yet the vows of this nation can only be fulfilled if we in this nation are first Therefore, we intend to be first. In short, our leadership in science and industry, our hopes for peace, for obligation, for peace, security, and our obligation to ourselves as well as others, all require us to make this effort to solve these mysteries, to solve them for the good of all men, and to become the world leading spacefaring nation. We set sail on this new sea because there is a new knowledge to be gained, new rights to be won, and they must be won and used for the progress of all people. For space science, like nuclear science and all knowledge, technology has no conscience of its own. Whether it will become a force for good or ill depends on man. And only if the United States occupies a position of preeminence can we help decide whether this new ocean will be a sea of peace or a new terrifying theater of war. I do not say that we should or will go unprotected against a hostile misuse of space any more than we go unprotected against a hostile use of land and sea. But I do say that space can be explored and mastered without feeding the fires of war, without repeating the mistakes that man has made and extending his wit around this globe of ours. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, and one that we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win, and others too. The growth of our science and education will be enriched by the new knowledge of our universe and environment, by new techniques of learning and mapping, and observing by new tools and computers for industry, medicine, the home as well as the school. Technical institutions such as Rice will reap the harvest of these gains. And thank you.